Hi everyone. So I couldn't end the day without doing a separate live to talk about something that's really important to me. It turns out that today is National Alien Abductee Day, and so I really couldn't pass up the date and opportunity to bring light to this topic that is very important to me, and it's also important to a lot of other people. And it has to do with experiences of abduction or interdimensional contact. As some of you might already know, I am a lifelong abductee, and that means that I have had abduction experience since the age of 5, multiple experiences up until recently. So it's a very, very interesting topic. And my personal experiences, just in my experience in 2013, when I had a vivid conscious experience, completely changed my life in a way that I never even imagined. As a result of my abduction experience, I woke up the next day with the ability to see the multidimensional body. And it was a journey of complete transformation from the inside out, a complete paradigm shift that completely changed how I viewed the world, how I viewed myself, how I viewed the structures of our systems in our society completely. And so it is something that is really important that, we have to kind of start talking about. And I think that a lot of people that have had experiences, this is an invitation to each and every one of us that we need to talk more about these experiences. Okay, we need to talk about our individual experiences that we've had with interdimensional contact, because right now we're still in that phase. I think we've come a really long way, but we're still in the phase where we have a lot of stigma attached to it. And if I don't put myself in the environments where I know they are open, to that kind of contact, these topics about contact, I know that I'm going to receive a lot of judgmental and things. How is there a national alien abduction that tells you it happens to a lot of people? Exactly, Cherie. So, I mean, I was really surprised to see that this morning, and I wanted to get on early, but I've been so busy today. But it is really interesting, right? And so the fact that we have a national day, and I've done some research. I mean, I was looking all over the internet trying to find out. Where did this start? How did it come from? They said that it was a toy company that wanted to put that out to kind of sell their toys, but I think that it's actually something that happened actually before. It was established a long time before the toy company utilized National Abduction Day to sell toys and talk about all this extraterrestrial contact. So if any of you guys have some info on that, I'd love to see where the origin of this National Abduction Day came from. But the purpose of this is really to start, kind of host a community gathering. I mean, we need to start sharing our experiences so that we can start taking the stigma away. I receive hundreds of emails, okay, from people around the world ever since I did the film Extraordinary Seeding. A lot of you already know about that film where I talk about the hybridization program, but hundreds of emails of people that have had abduction experiences, okay, contact experiences. So, I mean, it is really interesting. And I mean, I've been doing, of course, I'm writing a book about my experiences now, but in all of this research of how the medical field has handled it, how the scientific field has handled it, there is a lot of disinformation and a lot of lack of research and acknowledgement and attention put to the important aspects. And I think one of the most important aspects of this extraterrestrial topic are the experiencers, the ones that are experiencing firsthand what's happening here, okay? Now, these experiences that are happening range from everything from a dream to actual physical contact, okay? And I fall under the category of having physical contact with these beings, and I think that's what kind of changed my entire electromagnetic field and activated my DNA in order to be able to have these psychic abilities. But I'm not unique. This happens to other experiencers around the world that have had contact experiences. They all have these parallel things that happen to them that activate everything from psychic abilities to, clairaudient to sentient to everything from seeing through walls to telepathy. Okay, and it's very interesting that adults are experiencing that. But then let's take it out to the other spectrum of children that are born with knowledge that far transcends the education of some Harvard graduate. Okay, children at the age of 6 and 7, and I always refer to Mary Rodwell, which I love very much, that studies these children that have had extraterrestrial contact or that are hybrids themselves, which means that they are the incarnation of these hybrids that are being created, put back into the incarnation cycle. You hear me talk aloud about the spiritual body, the multidimensional body, and the fragments that we have of ourselves. The hybridization program plays a huge role in that, because when we have hybrid children, when we are in the womb having these children growing, which are genetically modified, they are a cocktail of DNA, they are taking a fragment of my soul, and that is, it's a way to stretch out the life force energy that is maintaining and sustaining these souls within the cyclical reincarnation cycle, or some of them are not even in the reincarnation cycle. Some of them are on other cycles of manifestations of consciousness, and they can be on other dimensions. For example, they live on craft or so on and so forth. So it's very interesting to note what is happening in the world around us. But this is a way for them sustaining these programs where I strongly believe that there is an imbalanced exchange of consciousness between mankind and these kinds of extraterrestrials. Some of this can be a parasitic consciousness, and I'm sure there is some high vibration programs that are being carried out as well. But I tend to believe that those that follow the law of free will would never interfere in our daily life, in our experiences. So, that's my personal experience, and I'm writing a book about this. I have a lot of stuff to talk about behind that, but everyone has their own experience. But the most important thing is that we take a moment to give space to those experiencers that have had experiences and listen to their stories, because as we listen to the detailed pieces, it's unbelievable. Even if you're talking about the kind of craft you're in or the kind of beings you're seeing, this cannot be explained by science or psychologist as a psychosis that keeps reoccurring. A couple weeks ago, before the UFO con here in 2020 in San Francisco Bay Area, I got on the call with this scientist. He's a teacher for Harvard, and he discussed, he wrote a whole paper on the scientific reason behind abduction. Okay, and he says that every single abductee that they have interviewed were people that have had surgeries, and that one of the side effects of utilizing the anesthetic is that over prolonged periods of time, even years, people begin to have visions and experiences as a result of the anesthetic. Okay, and so he says it's a result of the chemicals that they're using, that they're putting in the body, whatever it is that they use to anesthetize the body, those gases, okay? And so, I read thoroughly his paper, and it was one of the most widely read and distributed papers among the medical field. I hadn't found very much, other than, of course, the research that we have by, other Dr. Lear, for example, and I'm sorry, I have a really bad memory, but there are other researchers that have really heavily looked at the abduction phenomena from the psychology perspective. if you guys can remember the name of that psychologist that is very famous, beautiful, beautiful man that did group hypnosis, studies, really well controlled hypnosis studies on the abduction phenomena. Okay, and so this other man was one of the most widely read papers. So it was interesting to me that he hadn't discussed the hybridization program or any of the physical symptoms that resulted from contact. And so when I spoke to him, I said, hey, did you take a moment to look at the side effects, the physical side effects that were activated from this kind of contact? And he said, no, he had never heard of it. He had never come across that in his studies. Okay, and one of the hardest things in research right now is finding gynecologists, doctors that are willing to talk about this, because the physical side effects of contact are very real, and for a lot of contacts, it's really affecting their life. Lisa, I'd love to know if anyone has experienced feeling large hands on their shoulders, beings they can't see while they're 100% awake. That happened to me when I was 15. That's awesome. So Lisa had an experience where she had hands on her shoulders, and that's really interesting. Lisa, have I heard of anyone that had that? I have not heard of anyone that had hands, although in my personal experience, I experienced like I was being choked, but that was because they had some implants and things coming in my throat and putting some kind of implants into the body. I've also had other people mention injections being put in the nape of the neck or in the mouth or in the parts of the body as well. So there's many different things. I mean, this is such a huge topic. There's so much to cover, and it's so important that we do, because how we share these stories help us understand a couple things. It helps us understand our psychology coming up to these experiences, which is something that's of big interest to me in the research, but also the physical side effects of contact and the psychological effects of contact. Because one of the things that isn't mentioned a lot is the trauma that comes as a result of this contact. Okay, and now when I had my experience, I had been creating a nice, strong spiritual foundation for it, but there's people that are experiencing these things and they have nowhere to grasp. They don't have anywhere to grasp on. We don't even know what's real anymore, because it gets to the point where we really have to question our reality, and everything that we do know about reality turns out to be inverted in some way. Okay, so today, just a quick reminder. Let's hold space for contactees, people that have had experience. Let's listen to their stories without judgment. And this should go for anyone, really. Anybody's experience at any point. We should be able to hold space for them, because each one of us experiences this physical plane, this dimension in a different way. And all of our stories, all of our experiences hold a very valuable key to a puzzle that we're all building collectively to better understand the world that we live in, physical and non-physical. Okay, the physical is just one tiny percentage of a much larger existence that we play a huge role in. And our physical body, our multidimensional body, is intricately connected interdimensionally with all of these planes. We are moving in and out of them. In dream time, we're working with them. In waking time, and even in death, we are coming into these planes of consciousness, where we have the choice to decide how we're moving through them. And it's our conscious awareness that allows us to become in control or at the mercy of these systems. Okay, so that's why I do DNA reprogramming. That's the whole purpose of that, to help us hopefully leave the reincarnation cycle, in which I believe there is a lot of parasitic consciousness. Okay, so anyway, this was just a quick invitation, and also to invite you, if you are a hybrid parent, a hybrid mother or father that has experienced either introduction to your hybrid children, or you have been experiencing abduction, please come join me. My website is hybridmother.com, and my main research is focused on linking the physical, mental, and emotional aspect of abduction, and more importantly, providing support for the men and women that are experiencing participation in the hybridization program and don't know what to do, don't know where to go, don't know who to talk to. Okay, I do have a network of amazing people that are researchers and also hypnotherapists that focus on regression therapy to help you either recover memories or heal from trauma from these experiences. So please connect with me and let me know if I can be of service in any way for that. I'm really happy to hold space for that. Okay, my website is hybridmother.com. We're going to be hosting a united meetup with Misha Johnston. She is my partner in the research of the hybridization program, and together we're putting together a really nice, thorough, concise program so that we can begin to ask questions based on our collective experiences on the hybridization program to help us define better what's going on with those experiences, okay? And how those questions that we have are going to help you understand your experience better. And also by listening to other people that have had those experiences, you learn so much. Okay, that's one of the things that have really helped me move on and through my own experiences is by joining the supports groups. So I invite you to join. All right, thank you so much. And once again, have an amazing day. And it is a good day for awareness of this topic. So if you are an experiencer, I'd love to hear your story. Please share below. If you're a hybrid mother or father that wishes to talk to me and that wishes to share your story, I'm going to be producing a series of video interviews with other hybrid parents that have had the experience that want to share their experience on my channel. Okay, I'm going to be interviewing. I want to interview you about your hybrid parent experience, your connection. So please reach out to me if you know someone that's been experiencing that. Let's talk about it. I know that it's difficult. I can also do the interview anonymously if you wish to be kept anonymous. Just your voice is perfect. I feel like we need to understand, we need to share this information so that people begin to start taking it seriously, because there's a lot of people that are managing trauma that don't know, how to come back into the world after what happened to them. And it's difficult. I completely understand what they went through, and I know a lot of you do too. Okay, all my love, have an amazing night, and please stay in a light, in a state of consciousness, of love, holding powerful space for all of our brothers and sisters through this difficult time. Okay, all my love.